fucking hoes and popping pillies, man, I feel just like a rock star. I've been popped.
So I've been gaming for about as long as I can remember. Even whenever I was really young, I would be stuck on the original PlayStation 1. My mom introduced me to a game called Final Fantasy VII, which is actually a game she played whenever she was pregnant with me. So it just sort of followed along with that path, and I picked it up. It was my very first game that I played. Now, I wasn't obviously very good at it because I think I was playing about like 4, 5, 6 years old, and I didn't get very far with that game whenever I was really young. I tried my ass off, needless to say. And my mom always would tell me that I would always try to read the text off the screen, and so I would always ask my mom, be like, "Mom, what's this mean? Mom, what's this mean?" And she'd always get pissed off. So that's one reason in itself that whenever I was younger growing up, I would be very addicted to playing this game. I would read all the text on it, I'd look up the words and everything, and that's one reason why whenever I was growing up, it was a little bit easier for me to catch on to reading, to words in general, because I just would always look at it and look them up whenever I would play video games. And my history becomes very scarce because I just really played a lot of PlayStation. I played Croc, Final Fantasy, and besides that, I basically, whenever there was a game that was available that I could play being so young, I would get it. I would never really ask for games just because growing up it was a little bit harder to get them. The very first game I ever got really addicted to at an older age was World of Warcraft, because in middle school I was one of those weird kids, so I didn't really have a lot of friends. I never went outside a lot either, so I just spent my time playing World of Warcraft. I'd always ask my mom, "Can I borrow $15 so that way I can get my membership access?" And she'd be like, "Oh, fine, here you go." And lo and behold, I played the hell out of that game for a very long time. Like, I would binge that game for about 12-13 hours a day. Like, I would come home, get my schoolwork done. I'd get done within an hour, and then I would play until like 10-11 o'clock until my parents were angry at me, yelling at me to get off the game, and I'd be like, "All right, whatever, cool." And that went on for a long time. I think till about 8th or 9th grade year, because that's whenever I started hanging out with my cousin a little bit more. Now, my cousin, he had a game called Halo, and he was one of the first people to introduce me to that, and that's when everything changed. Halo 3 on the Xbox 360 was one of the most revolutionary games in itself, and that was one of the first games that I had first-hand experience with. And needless to say, that game has evolved me into the man I am now, because I binged that game for about a year. I literally saved up birthday money, Christmas money, personal money. I did everything that I could. It's probably the best time I've ever saved money, because I usually am terrible with it. So after saving for about a good solid year, I was able to go get an Xbox 360 along with Halo 3, like the original copy of Halo 3, not the Mythic Edition or Halo 3 ODST. No, this was legit Halo 3. It was phenomenal. Then I transferred from playing WoW for 12-13 hours a day to playing Halo 3 for 12 or 13 hours a day. You name it, I played it. Custom games, matchmaking, campaign. Oh man, we played the hell out of that game. And especially since I could talk to my friends, I could develop more friendships online. I had a lot more friendships online through Halo 3 than I did in real life at that point. Very beginning of freshman year, I met one of my good friends that I still talk to every single day. He's in my videos every now and then. His name's Blake, and we met through math class. Fun fact, we met because I had the answers to the math homework, and he was like, "Cool." And we just went from there. So who would have known 8-9 years later we'd be here? Actually, I think it's 10. Who would have known almost 10 years later we would be here? I wouldn't have guessed it. He's the one who introduced me to Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty, I had a little bit of hints and whatnot before. I had played it because my parents actually went and got a PlayStation 3, so that way we would have a Blu-ray player. And eventually, I believe I got Call of Duty 4 for it. And I didn't play it a lot because not a lot of my friends had PlayStation. I think 1 or 2 of my friends had PlayStation around the time, but I didn't really play it a lot. I would literally jump on there, put an ACOG on the M40A3 YY no scope. The whole time. Was literally influenced by Zee Jay to do nothing but that. Because I watched his Matrix montage, and everybody knows, everybody who's been here for 5 ever in the community knows that that montage has revolutionized everything. Zee Jay, M40A3 Predator, now OpTic Predator, iReeps, all these people like made such an impact. And I would watch their videos every now and then, and I would get done with watching a video and be like, yeah, I could go do that. Let's go do that. Didn't work out. Didn't cut it. But my buddy Blake was the first person to actually introduce me to Call of Duty in itself. So that's when me, Blake, my cousin Jacob, he's the one who originally got me into Halo 3. We were the duo in Halo 3. We went over to Call of Duty. Because around that time, I think it was like 8th or 9th grade, that's when a lot of people started getting into Call of Duty more and more, because it was Call of Duty 4, which was already fantastic. And then MW2, I think was getting ready to come out or just came out. It was around 2009, 2008. And that's when everything started going crazy. Instead of playing 12 or 13 hours on Halo 3, I'm playing 12 or 13 hours on MW2. It's a cycle. Around 2010 is when I made my very, very first channel. And I was playing Halo 3 around the time, and I wanted to make Halo montages. If I still had my old Xbox 360, I would be able to go through all these clips. I kid you not, I had about 40 or 50 clips of nothing but exterminations, really cool overkills, killtaculars that I wanted to edit, but at the time I didn't have a PVR or anything to record. Well, at the time I had something to record all these with, but it was a Pinnacle. Everybody remembers the Pinnacle. Or I'm sorry, the Dazzle DVC 100, which recorded in like 480p. I kid you not. It was a rough time, because what I had to do is I had to plug in my TV to my Dazzle, then I'd plug my Dazzle to my laptop that I had at the time, and then I would have to play from the input delay, and it was it was rough. I still have my very first montage, which went up I think in like 2010, but it was a fun taj. It was called the Weekend Taj, and that is still by far one of my favorite videos I've ever made, because it was just funny. It was all of our buddies just digging around, just having a good time. And that was one of the very first videos I actually did a big edit to. And you know, going back and watching it, it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was. At the time I was like, I'm trash, why am I doing this? Like I do with all my videos. Not a lot has changed actually. So I made a new channel because I was like, okay, my original channel was called Invaders X Creature, in like big upper capital, little capital, upper capital, little capital. So I was like, okay, so I want to be recognized officially without having a dumb name. What's a good name I should go with? So I created the second channel called Reciprocates. At the time, if you had an original gamer tag, like mine was Reciprocates, Blake's name was Morphi, my cousin Jacob's name was Categorizes, you were, which he still has, by the way, that's still a dope name. You were the shit. You were the bee's knees, and if people saw you, they would immediately think, oh, this guy's gonna put the work on me because he has an original gamer tag, and it was about 80% correct. I like to think that I was one of those people, every now and then people would see my name and be like, oh no, it's Reciprocates. I'd be like, yeah, what's good? It evolved from there because around 2011, I do believe, I actually got my HD PVR because I started working my very first job, and I was like, look at all this money, watch me spend all this money. And at the time, my PVR I think was about $120, something like that. So I got that. I invested more time into Photoshop, I invested more time into editing, I invested more time into YouTube, so I started making more and more YouTube videos, and now I had high quality that I didn't have to, you know, watch a video delay to be able to play it. I could just play it and have a great time. I had all this time to make these videos and get so good, but I didn't, which really, I kicked myself in the butt a lot of the time, because I could have done really well. I felt like at the time I did stuff different, but I never really got good feedback or recognition from it, so I didn't do it all the time. It was only a hobby. I was really stuck with band and a bunch of different performances because I was playing trombone. Still do play trombone, side note. Basically, I would do a little bit of YouTube, maybe a video here or there, and then I'd go into game battles and then record us doing some game battles and stuff like that. And then BO2 arrives, and that's when I'll go hard. That was the very first game I ever went hard on. Like I nerded that game out, and eventually I stopped doing YouTube entirely. I sold all my stuff, and for about a year or so I focused on doing my own thing. Well, around 2013, I bought an Xbox One, still had my Xbox 360. Instead of just being a Call of Duty YouTuber, I tried to do regular video games, like playthroughs and whatnot. So around 2014, whenever I was still doing my very first two semesters of college. Oh, that's another story for another day, which is a side note, a little bit off topic. If I ever hit a certain goal on this channel, I'm probably going to do a draw my life or edit my life, sort of like how Hitch did, or something that works for me. I'll explain more about everything, because right now this is just the history of video games. There's a lot more. So in 2014, I actually reinvented myself one more time because I wanted to be nothing but a playthrough channel. I wanted to do video game playthroughs, and I wanted to be the next Markiplier because I thought I was good enough to do that. So I took my iPhone, I took all my things that I had at the time. I would record myself with the iPhone, I'd record the gameplay, I would sync it all together. I basically uploaded every single day or every other day, and I was super duper consistent. I even set my stuff off to full screen, was given a partnership as full screen. I also still have that video. They're all down at the very early videos. I have about 300 videos at this point, which is really crazy to think about. We progressed on, and I attempt my best to keep away from Call of Duty, and Lord help, I do not. I go back to Call of Duty as I usually do. Well, then I go on about 2 or 3 different hiatuses. One of them I had to move, and the other one was because actually my PVR that I had at the time broke. Don't know what happened. It was really rough. So what I had to do is I had to send it in, and then I got a brand new one back, which is the one I'm using right now, HD PVR 2 Gaming Edition. I still use that since 2014. It has been since 2014 that I have used this HD PVR, and it pisses me off. Don't be fooled, it really does piss me off, and usually it's my fault. But this thing has lasted me, I will say. Anybody I have to appreciate throughout this whole mashugana of gaming that I've done, it would be Hapog. I appreciate you, Hapog. Thank you. I don't even know if they're still a thing. Are they still a place? I don't know. Might have to look them up. Might tweet at them. We'll see. So needless to say, I go back, I take a couple of hiatuses. In August of 2015, after I had taken a bunch of different school breaks, a bunch of different, in general breaks, I come back to YouTube. And I've basically been doing that ever since, like doing basically doing Call of Duty. And probably this past year, I have evolved from doing not just Call of Duty. I do this I do a documentary, don't really know what to call it, Road to OpTic. I do regular commentary, I do Fortnite, I do streaming, and I am absolutely ecstatic to see how my history has evolved. 10 years ago, I had a dream. 8 years ago, I wanted to turn that dream into a reality. 4 years ago, I made the template of the YouTuber and the content creator that I wanted to be. And 2 years ago, I reinvented myself. Needless to say, there's been a bit, like the history that I have had on this channel itself is ludicrous. The history that I've had with everything is ludicrous. And it's going to be doing nothing but going up, and it's really interesting to see how everything has unfolded and evolved. Me and my friends have been in this community we've been around since the beginning, and then the golden age, and I want to say we're still in that golden age. I personally am not sure. I feel like we're doing nothing but still going up. With Call of Duty, I still feel like we're going up, even though people keep saying Call of Duty's going to die, Call of Duty's going to die. Now if they keep messing up and they keep, doing stupid stuff, yeah, Call of Duty's eventually going to die, but right now we're doing pretty good. If Halo survived what it survived, I have no doubt that Call of Duty will keep going. For everybody who's been around for a while and has seen go like Halo 3, Halo Reach, every other game after Reach, and then 5 is actually like going up. 5 is slowly going up, which is interesting to see. So 6 is going to be sort of, we'll see. If Halo, the whole franchise, can survive that, especially through competitive, it will be fine. If there's a game that has dipped and gone to the brink of extinction and has come back, it is Halo. There's more to this evolution, and I just wanted to elaborate on the history of me. I figured it would be pretty good to explain, talk about, see where one person comes from, because somebody else could have a completely different story. Now obviously this isn't a draw my life, this isn't an edit my life. Like I said earlier in the video, I would like to make one of those, but I'm not gonna make one of those just to make one. If people, say I would like to see one, or if I get to a certain subscriber goal, I would like to get 1,000. Get to 1,000 would be pretty cool. I think I'm at 393 right now, which is phenomenal, because never thought I never thought I would actually get close to 400, because I Oh, I plateaued. I always plateau on YouTube. I would go like a couple subscribers, couple of months, couple subscribers, couple of months. It usually goes like that. Shout out to the YouTube system. Y'all just keep doing wonderful things. And also, I'm not very consistent on YouTube because I do streaming. Insert plug. If y'all want to watch me stream, www.twitch.tv/clearlynotnick. Come check me out. I stream all the time. I'm probably going to stream after this because I'm a nerd. That's what I do. That's about all I have for this Road to OpTic episode 5. Expect episode 6 to come out in the next coming up weeks because the Soar RC, I know it's really ironic that I'm making a Road to OpTic while talking about the Soar RC. Look, this is the second time this has happened. It's okay. The Soar RC is going to be dropping soon. Expect one during that time, and that one will be special. Keep in mind. Thank you all for coming to watch this video. If you liked it, comment, rate, subscribe, do all the jazz. If you didn't take a look at my other videos, I might be able to change your mind. This is the first time I think I've ever done like an official outro on this video or on this series for Road to OpTic. Usually it's a little bit different on the outro. So, y'all are beautiful. Stay classy.